You've discovered your human design and now you're fascinated with this information and want to know more, but you're finding yourself digging deep into all of these strange words that you're reading, not really knowing what they mean or what you can do with them. So I started this video series so that you can start learning the code words that we have in the human design language so that you actually know what it is about, how you can utilize it to help yourself align and become more energetically authentic. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what the energy type is, why it is so incredibly important, what the pillars are to understanding the implementation of the energy type, and so much more. So stay tuned, watch till the end of the video, like and subscribe if you want to know more about the human design information and want to be kept up to date with all of the series that we're going to launch pertaining to different words and different information in the human design chart. So let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the energy type is the most important thing in human design. It's not only what I believe, but it's actually what Ra-Uru, the person who channeled the human design information, has been saying for years. And so why is that? The energy type is really the most impactful information that you can have about your human design to start living energetically, authentically. Why is that? It's because this is your frequency field. Your energy type is what represents your aura, the way that you interact with other people and the way that you're able to embody your energetic purpose. As with everything, we have to learn how to build the pillar, the base. And on top of this is where we can start building and construct. But if we don't have the basics in place, the rest can tumble. And so really starting to understand your energy type is going to be the #1 key to move from resistance in your life into flow. And that is because even though we have so much information now with the internet, and I really believe that we can learn anything and everything that we want, there's still one component that is missing, and that is understanding our personal individual energetics. And I'm sure that you have been through a similar situation that I have, that, for example, I've tried somebody else's diet, somebody else's sports plan, and I'm like, I'm not getting the body of this person, even though I'm eating like them and exercising like them, because we all have a unique imprint. And it's the same with business. I remember spending $2,000 on a business program that I really disliked. But also when I was going into the Facebook groups or whatever, I was seeing people oh, cold calling doesn't work for me. And I'm like, projector, which is an energy type that can initiate. And so what happens is that we live in a society that teaches us, listen, this is the way I do it. I've gotten to success doing it this way. If you do the same thing that I've done, you're gonna get my success. And unfortunately, or fortunately, this is not how it works. It actually works in a completely different way. We're all here to create our own unique path. And I do believe that we all have our own little weird quirks that make us so unique and special so that we can actually stand out in our individuality. And that by trying to imitate or taking the exact steps of somebody else, we're just not being able to live authentically. And we can pretend, and maybe we can have some success if our energetics are similar to that person, but in the end, we're not really in our purpose and we're not feeling aligned because it's not correspondent to who we truly are. And so the energy type is really going to help you understand the way that you operate in the world, or why maybe things aren't going the way that you want them to go, or why certain systems or certain ways of doing just doesn't fit with the way that your natural body wants to move through the world. And for me, this was an incredible awakening moment to understand that I'm a projector and that I can't do things in the way society asks me to. And instead of hating myself and instead of punishing myself, which I had done for years and years and years continuously because I didn't understand my authentic energy, I could suddenly have empathy for myself. I could suddenly have understanding for who I am authentically and could reframe my whole life. I know that sounds dramatic, but that was my personal experience. I was able to reframe my experiences, my failures, or what I deemed as failures, through a different prism, because now I understood who I was energetically and what my energetic purpose is, and it has its value. It's just completely different from what society values. And so there are 5 core energy types, and you can look at the specific videos that I've made for each energy type here. Search for your own energy type. If you don't know your energy type, I'm gonna link below a place on my website where you can find your human design chart for free, so you can check it out if you haven't, or you can check out your children, your partner, whatever it is, and find out what energy type they are, and then go watch the videos to soak up all the juicy information. And so once we start understanding our energy type, which we have the projector, which is around 20% and is here to guide. We have the generator, which is about 33% and is here to create and to build and have this like beautiful sparkling aura and consistent energy. Then we have the manifesting generator that is incredibly sparkling, very powerful, and has 1,000 curiosity and works best when having 10 projects at the time. We have the manifestor, which is actually quite rare. There's like 7-8%, and they have a very divine masculine energy, and they're here to initiate and impact people. And then we have the 1%, which is the reflector, which we often refer as the unicorn in human design because they are so rare. They work with the moon, and they're here to really be the most wisest, and the ones that are here to reflect the health and the well-being of the community that they're in, or the environment that they're in. So within the energy type, we get 3 different aspects that we can start integrating to understand how to really up-level our energetic truth, authenticity, and alignment. Let's get into it. So within the energy type, we have what we call the strategy. And the strategy is the tangible tool that human design gives us so that we can start working in collaboration with the universe to align our soul to our lifetime's purpose. And the strategy for me is the most valuable thing that human design teaches us. And it's the thing why I personally gravitated so much to human design, because to me, having like a tangible tool is very grounding. And that's something that within the spiritual world, I was really missing to fully connect to it. And so the reason why human design is so fascinating to me, and even though I love astrology, astrology is like, it tells you this is who you are, these are the things that are happening, and you can resonate with them, and you're like, oh yeah, they're giving me a deeper understanding. But human design gives you an actionable step, which is the strategy that allows you to really make a change. And one of the most impactful universal laws of success is action. And so the strategy is the action that you can start taking for your energy type to live in alignment with the world and your energetic purpose. I'm going to give you a brief overview on all 5 strategies for each energy type. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to go deeper and explain them with more detail. So, the projector's strategy is to wait for the invitation. And I know that this is a really hard one, and it's the one that most people have the biggest resistance towards, because we live in a society that teaches us you have to go after what you want. If you don't have what you desire, it's because you're not working hard enough, it's because you're not initiating, it's because you don't want it enough. And obviously that is just not true, because as a projector, you cannot work in the way society wants you to or asks you to. So waiting for the invitation really means that the other person needs to recognize your wisdom, needs to recognize your talents, needs to see you for who you are and the value that you bring before you can start sharing what you know, what you see, and your gifts and talents. And so this is really hard to understand, because the projector wants nothing more than to be recognized, to be seen and valued, but we have to really wait it out. And when the person recognizes us, they create a space within them, and that's where our wisdom can land. If we start sharing what we know with the other person, or like we want to help them and guide them without there being an invitation, what's going to happen is that our wisdom is just gonna repel. And it's something that looks very unattractive in a projector when we're trying to be in our gifts without being invited. The strategy for the generator and the manifesting generator are actually the same strategy, because in Human Design 1.0, the manifesting generator is only mentioned as a subcategory to generator. But if you've ever met a manifesting generator, and I sure have, to me, you guys have such a specific energy that I would never want to just put you as a subcategory. And so even though your strategy is the same as an energy type, to me, you feel very different. And so within this example of the strategy, we're going to put you both together, but just understand that you are unique in your own way. And so the strategy for the generator and the manifesting generator, because you have a similar aura and a similar energetic body, is to respond. And a lot of times I read things on the internet or have clients that come to me and they're like, oh, I have to wait to respond. And I really don't like that language, because waiting is for the projector. So the way that you as a generator, manifesting generator, actually use the collaboration of the universe to get what you want is by reacting and responding to the impulses that the universe sends you. These are opportunities, these are pictures, these are smells, these are people. Constantly, your sacral gut has a very basic yes or no kind of reaction to it. And it's really about learning how to be in the moment and allow every impulse to really get into your physical body and have the strong visceral reaction. And when you're constantly responding to what life offers you in every moment, that is where you will be guided to collaborate with the universe to experience the things that your soul has come to live in this lifetime. The strategy for the manifestor is to inform, and that is because the manifestor has a closed aura. And so people are not really able to see what's happening behind this closed aura. And so the manifestor is characterized because you're going to have these strong creative impulses and urges that want to be expressed. And you really like to do things the way that you want to do them, and you don't really want anybody else to bother you. And so when you start being in your creative process and somebody comes to disturb you, you're going to get really upset, because the person is not able to see that you are in this process unless you inform. So actually the key for you is to use your voice to tell other people what you want to do, what you're up to, what your plans are, how you're feeling. Even though this can feel mostly very unnatural for a manifestor, it's the way that you actually open this little door in your closed aura and allow people to see what's happening. And so the manifestor is actually the only energy type that does not need the collaboration of the universe in the same way other energy types need to, because you can really just go after what you want and you're meant to initiate and take charge. The strategy for the reflector is to wait 28 days. And I think this one is one of the hardest, especially in our society where everything should be done yesterday. And so if you have to make a decision, or if you work in a fast-paced environment, people are going to be like, oh, you should have answered this by yesterday, or we need an answer by, yesterday. And you're like, but I need 28 days. So the reason why the reflector needs 28 days before being able to make a decision or to know what's going on in their life is because the reflector is ruled by the moon. And because the reflector is ruled by the moon, every week, depending on where the moon is moving through your planets, you're going to be expressing a different energy type. You can be a projector one week and a manifesting generator the next week. And so you need to have these experiences and make a decision and actually feel what you're going through each of these lunar cycles within you until you can make an informed decision that is aligned with who you are authentically. And so I know it can be really tough to give yourself that time and space to wait, but when you start using that as something that is part of who you came to be, and you really own that part of yourself, that people will have to wait for you to make the right decision that is aligned, and those that love you and respect you will give you that space and time that you need. You will be able to discern really quickly the things that are meant for you and the things that are not meant for you, because anything and anyone that can't wait for that 28-day cycle is just not meant to be in your life. Let's break down the not self theme. So the not self theme is a feeling that the human design alerts you to so that you know that you're moving out of alignment. And so the not self theme is actually a kind of yucky feeling, a yucky sensation, something you usually don't want to be sitting in too long. But I want you to understand that every time the not self theme comes up, it is really a signpost that is telling you, hey, listen, right now you're moving away from your purpose. And so it is really a beautiful tool to also understand that pain, that frustration, or the feelings that I'm going to get into that are specific for each energy type are really this guiding system. I do believe that when we hit a rock bottom, when we're going through a tough time, the universe is always guiding us to our highest, most potent self. And when we are in a situation that is hard and difficult and like as if we're like trading in the mud, it is so that we are alarmed and that we get a wake-up call like, hey, the way that you're doing things right now is not really serving you or serving the universe or global consciousness, because you're not contributing in the way that you're meant to. And so when the not self theme arises, instead of trying to numb it, instead of trying to ignore it, I really want you to look it straight in the eyes and figure out what part of your strategy for your energy type you haven't been listening to or implementing, because it will always be directly affected. The not self theme for the projector is bitterness, and I can relate to this so well, oh my God. As a projector, bitterness will come into your life when you have not waited for the invitation and you don't get the recognition. So because the projector is always able to see everybody and like wants to help everybody, because you know you're here to guide others, what happens is that when you start sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, or your advice when there's no invitation, people will not be open to hearing it, and they will feel a kind of rejection towards you, and you will notice that. In the moment that you feel that rejection, the moment that you're not recognized, the moment that you don't understand why others can't see how much you know and how great you are at doing all of these things that you're great at doing, you're going to start feeling bitter. When you're not recognized, you're going to see other people being successful. You're going to see other people having more followers. You're going to see other people getting the job or making the money that your soul desires to have. And so what's going to happen is that you're going to like point at everybody and be like, why is that person there? I deserve to be there. I'm much better doing this. I can do this better than them. And actually, you probably can. But because you're not living in energetic alignment, the universe is bringing up all of these things in your life to provoke this bitterness so that you can start moving into your energetic authenticity. And that is when that resistance will be removed and you will start seeing people recognizing you and you being able to get all of the things that you desire. The not self theme for the generator and the manifesting generator is frustration. And frustration is going to come up when you see that other people are getting to places where you want to be and things aren't flowing for you. And so the not self theme for the generator is going to look like you're just working away and slaving away and doing all of these hours and putting so much energy and work into something, but you're actually not excited about what you're doing. So you feel drained, you feel burned out, you feel like you're making too many compromises, you're doing too much of things you don't like for too many people that are not your own desires and the things that get you excited about. And so when you have too many compromises, your aura doesn't have the energy for the universe to fit in the things in this magnetic aura that you have for you to react to. And so if your aura doesn't have energy to pick up the impulses of the universe, your sacral has nothing to react to. And when your sacral has nothing to react to, that's when you feel stuck. And that is when you will start moving out of energetic alignment, because you're like, oh, my subconscious knows all of these amazing things are for me in this lifetime. They're just waiting for me in this lifetime. And so you start trying to initiate and you start working the way society has told you is the only way to achieve success. But as a generator with a very feminine energy and a very magnetic aura, that's not going to work for you. And for the manifesting generator, even though your not self theme is also frustration and it comes from a very similar dynamic, there's two options actually. As a manifesting generator, it can be either that you're too much in your feminine, you're too much in your generator energy, you're just doing, too many compromises, your aura doesn't have the magnetism to pull in the impulses of the universe, your sacral has nothing to respond to, but you're also forgetting to use your voice, to initiate, to go after what you want, to say what you need, because that's a very big part of your manifesting generator. That's the manifestor within your manifesting generator. And then you have the manifestor side. So the other thing that can happen and that can cause you frustration, that can cause you to fall into your not self theme as a manifesting generator, is the fact that you're too much in the masculine. You're trying to initiate, you're trying to get projects done, you're trying to force things, and you have forgotten to wait and collaborate with the universe to use your sacral desire to really see what you're reacting to before you can actually start initiating. So as a manifesting generator, to avoid frustration and you're not self-themed, always make sure your belly, your gut is excited about what you want to do before you start taking the steps into actually implementing the things that you desire. Then we have the manifestor, and the not self-theme for the manifestor is anger. And I think this is a really important one because anger is one of those emotions that within the masculine world is like very tolerated. But if you're a female identifying manifestor, anger can be something that you're struggling with. Women are not supposed to be angry. And so really allow yourself to look at that anger. Often that anger can be directed at yourself, but it is just a sign that you have forgotten to inform, to open up, and to share what you want, what you desire, what your plans are. So every time you are angry, allow yourself to look at that emotion and try to step back and track where you have forgotten to open your aura, to communicate so that others can actually give you the space to be authentically you. Last but not least, the not self-theme for the reflector is disappointment. And the reason that we have disappointment as a reflector is because the reflector is meant to be very open and very fluid. And what happens is that because you are so open, you can sometimes feel like you're lost. And so a lot of reflectors try to hold on rigidly to a persona or to a routine or to a certain kind of life because they're afraid to really let go and let themselves immerse in the experience they've come to live as reflector energy types. And so when reflectors are very rigid and very closed, what happens is that there is no spontaneity in their life. And so nothing really happens. And when nothing really happens, they start having this feeling of disappointment in their life. So if you're a reflector who constantly feels disappointed by life, allow yourself to look at how you can become more fluid, more open, less constructed, and allow yourself to give yourself that time to have those 28 days, to have that lunar cycle experience before you make a decision so you're not disappointed with the decision that you've made. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you what the signature represents for your energy type and how you can use it to achieve your goals. So the signature is the thing that you want to focus on. It is the main thing in your life that is going to help you achieve all of the other things that your soul desires as a collateral. So contrary to what we have been taught, which is work a shitty job, save all your money, don't you dare enjoy a latte, and then when you're 65, you can start living the life that you desire if you make it at 65. Human design teaches us that when we actually show up as our whole authentic self right now, the universe is like, oh, I see you doing your thing and I'm gonna support you with money, people, opportunities, and chances so that you can start living out in alignment and continue your path of authenticity and therefore live in your purpose. And so when we use our signature and start creating time and energy around feeding that signature, there's actually this collateral that happens that will inform other parts of our life. And so I'm going to talk briefly on all the 5 signatures for each energy type. The signature for the projector is success, which I always think is very ironic because the projector is the only energy type that can exchange hours of work for money, which is how our society works. And so success for the projector means being paid for your services and feeling truly recognized. So as a projector, if you have any gifts and any talents, even if they're spiritual, whatever they're connected to, your wisdom is meant to be recognized through a monetary exchange. So you know that you are aligned when you're making money from your specific gift. And so when you start making the money that you desire and you feel recognized and seen, that is when you know that you are nailing your signature for your energy type in your human design. The signature for the generator and also the manifesting generator is satisfaction. And I always say it's that deep belly satisfaction, like you've just eaten a delicious meal and you've got this little like smiles in your face and you're like happy and full and satisfied. That is that feeling that you know that you are aligned as a generator or a manifesting generator. That is also the thing that you're meant to make your priority. And one of the things that we don't understand is that, you know, you might be thinking like, okay, yeah, I feel super satisfied when I like caress my cat for 20 minutes a day, but how is that gonna make me money? How is that gonna bring me success? How is that gonna give me energy? And so when we look at energetics, it's never just this one linear thing. You do this thing here and this thing here happens. And so I do something that is called Kundalini Yoga, and there's a practice that is Soba Kriya, which is a prosperity meditation. And so what this has taught me is that when I do weird movements and like breathings over here, suddenly there's money coming in through the back, you know? And so I've really been able to learn that the universe doesn't compartmentalize, and that it's not only like, you know, if I put energy into this specific thing, there's only energy gonna come back out of here. Energetics are very interconnected. And so once we understand that, for example, petting your cat 20 minutes a day is gonna make you feel cozy, is gonna give you energy, your aura will be more magnetic therefore, and will attract the right people, opportunities, and chances towards you that you can't even imagine will come through just caressing your cat. But also, I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs around what we're able to do or what we're not able to do. And so I think I even use this in the examples of the energy type videos that you can look up on my channel. But we all have heard of those cat cafes in Japan that are booming, where you go and have a matcha or whatever you have, and you caress cats. So I truly believe that we're able to make a business out of anything that we're passionate about and that we love. And one of the key things that I've learned in my life is the more personal something is, the more universal it is. So if you enjoy caressing your cat, there's obviously thousands of other people who also enjoy that very much. On to the Manifestor. The Manifestor's signature is peace. And I think this is a really beautiful one, because since the Manifestor often is tied into like this very authoritarian energy, the kings, the conquerors, the warriors, I think understanding that you know that you are on the right path when you feel peaceful, when your life is filled with peace, and when you're actually a persona that generates peace in the environment that you are, and that you lead through peace, that is a very like powerful message to carry within. And so the Manifestor has a lot of responsibilities, because you're here to impact and you have like these strong leadership qualities, and it's all about reframing what the divine masculine means, since we've had such a like long period of being very hurt by masculine energy. I think it is for all Manifestors to empower themselves through reframing what masculine energy means, and therefore having your signature and your goal be this very peaceful energy just makes total sense to me. Then we get to the signature of the reflector, which I touched upon in the section before, and that is that reflector is here to be surprised. So as a reflector, you know that you are on the correct path, that you are aligned, that you're living in your energetic authenticity and energetic purpose when your life is full of surprises. I have never heard the crazy stories that come from a reflector's life experience. When you're open, when you let go, when you allow spontaneity to happen in your life, and you just follow those inner cues that you feel, and you follow the environments that feel aligned to you, you will live a life that is incredibly magical and full of surprises. If this was helpful and you want to know more about your human design, we have a free Intro to Human Design booklet that is linked below. Go and download that so you can fall into the rabbit hole that is all things human design. If this video was valuable, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, like this video, share it with whoever could use this information, and I can't wait to catch up on more HD language and info on the series of the pillars of the human design information.